What is up? What is up? We are back, Black. We made it like a motherfucker. Like a son of a bitch. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. Man, what is going on? What is going on? Shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation right now. Shout out to my nigga Dom. Just on the phone with that nigga. That's my nigga right there. That nigga, it's something about talking to a nigga that will really give you the perspective that you needed to hear on real life. Because that's my nigga right there. That nigga is like, no, nigga. This is some straight bullshit. Shout out to my nigga Dom. Shout out to my nigga Nick too, man. Nick, get better, man. Nick out there, man, fighting. You know what I'm saying? You know, he a little under the weather, man. So you got to get that elderberry tea in his life and stuff like that. So shout out to them. I had to send a quick shout out to them real quick. You know what I'm saying? Those my niggas right there. But anyway, to the next sucker. Oh, what's going on, man? 0666. I also want to send a special shout out to everybody at the Court Plantation that is making it do what it do. Trying to survive, scratch and survive, man. That shit is not fun. It's not easy. I want to send a special shout out to the people that's at the Court Plantation that constantly have to be looking at people upside their head when they be like, hey, man, you work 2 jobs? So then let me hold some money. No, nigga, I'm working 2 jobs because I ain't got the motherfucking money, nigga. So shout out to them suck-ass niggas. Shout out to all my women out there, too, man. There's a lot of niggas selling dick, but there's a lot of women selling pussy hole, too. They don't give a fuck about COVID. Bitches is selling the pussy. And let me tell you something. If you selling pussy, I'm checking the Carfax on that pussy hole. And I want to see how many miles you got on that motherfucker. If you got over 100,000 miles, then you need a transmission flush and a radiator flush on that shit. Your check engine light on that pussy hole. We gonna start that bidding off at about 55. Let me get 55. Yes, anybody, yeah. Anybody, yeah. Nobody, yeah. Sold to the next sucker ass nigga. Y'all know I had to hit y'all niggas with that shit. And shout out to everybody that ain't out there selling their pussy hole and trying to make an honest living. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this. I want to send a special, very, very, very special shout out to all my people reading, researching, getting the knowledge of who you are and understanding what it is. Tasha, I see you. What's happening? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's very imperative. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you got to read 1,000 books to be knowledgeable. That's some bullshit. And don't ever let nobody tell you this either, that you got to have a whole bunch of money to invest in the stock market. That's bullshit. Don't ever let nobody tell you no shit like that. That's bullshit. That's just some shit to have you on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? My bad. Just check that shit real quick. But shout out to everybody out there, man. And you know, hey, I'm always give love and respect to everybody that's at the corporate plantation, because that shit is not fun. We got a lot of shit to discuss today. Very, very interesting thing. I was also reading this thing about this white brother who beat the shit out of this sister. And I'm trying to find it. I saw it on Twitter. And we gonna get into that too. This white brother just beat the shit out of this sister. Then she tried to file charges. They tried to act. They arrested her. And we still gonna talk about Chad Wheeler, whatever the fuck his name is, who beat up that sister. But they ain't talking about it. But Ray Rice is out of the NFL. We gonna get into all that shit. And we're gonna use this information so we can use it as information to guide us through the corporate plantation ups and downs. I often have conversations. I would like to call them, you know, my young OGs, because they give me a different perspective on what goes on at the corporate plantations today. And I try to give them my perspective. And my perspective is always this. I would like my racism up front, blunt, and in my face, than overt and covert. I can't stand a covert operating racist. What does that mean, Warren? An anti-black racist who will be like, hey, man, what's going on, Jerome? Did you catch the Laker game last night? You know, what's up with those guys wearing the Black Lives Matter stuff? You know, like all lives matter. Like, right, Jerome? That bullshit. And then behind closed doors, they like, fuck that nigger. See, I don't need that. I like the Southern racists. When motherfuckers, when you be like, man, I want to go to the South. Man, why, man? They racist. Okay, but at least they're going to tell you what the fuck it is. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, man, you can come in here. Don't worry, I voted for Obama twice. Looking at it. We're going to talk about all that shit, man. And I'm going to always relate it back to the corporate plantation. Because, hey, man, that's what we deal with every day. Like I said, it was a nigga that told me at the corporate plantation one time, man, how did you do it this long? Well, nigga, what the fuck else I'm going to do? I got 2 options. I can sell dope and rob, I can slang this dick, or I can work at the corporate plantation. Nigga, I'm too scared to sell dope and rob, because I ain't trying to go to nobody's motherfucking prison. Nigga, I ain't trying to be out here on no Wesley Pipe shit, or no Lexington Steel shit. That's too, so fuck it. I wasn't raised to be an entrepreneur like that, but now I'm trying. So we gonna get into all that. And I want to say shout out to all the finessing ass motherfuckers out there. You know it's a nigga at the job right now begging. And I want y'all, before we get into the subject at hand, take a look to your left and to your right while you're at the corporate plantation. Just look around. How many melanated brothers and sisters do you know that really have your back? How many other racial groups do you know that won't flip on you when they get around the dominant society? That's just the question I want you to ask yourself when you're at the corporate plantation. We're going to get into it right now. Hey. Man, let me cut this shit down. Man, there's so much shit going on, man. I'm glad to be back. Another motherfucking Sunday. Another motherfucking weird ass day. But it's a cool day, man, for us to get it in real quick. I ain't gonna be on long because y'all niggas already know I got hella shit that I got to do today. A lot. So we're gonna get in today, man. I was reading. The title of this is The Reminder of Power. And the reason why I say that is because they're gonna always remind you who really has the power and who doesn't. And you like, what you mean, Warren? It's just like at the corporate plantation. They're gonna always remind you who's in charge. I don't care how many black folk you see. The people behind closed doors, they don't look like you. They're a part of the dominant society, and they are basically not just replicating, but ensuring that the institution of anti-black racism will go on forever. That's never going away. And they will always remind you. Now, I was reading this article, and it was on CNN about this sister. And this sister, she basically, she had a problem because I guess they were signing a bill, and I guess it was a bill in Georgia. Well, that's one of the places I might mind moving. Like, why would you want to move to Georgia? Cause nigga, I want my racists up front. Nigga, I don't want no smiling ass motherfucker telling nigga jokes that you supposed to laugh at. I want a nigga to be like, we don't fuck with niggas over here. Okay, cool. Then I won't fuck with it. I don't want no nigga to be like, oh man, come on in, and then they spit in your shit. Fuck that, man. I don't need that. You know, I feel like there's more ciphers, you know, than there are anyone else, especially when it comes to anti-black racism and racism, white supremacy as a whole, man. It's more ciphers. They just want the blue pill smoothie. Just give me the pill that make me go back to sleep. I don't want to remember none of this shit. That's why I was watching this show, man. This shit was so funny. It's called Bad Trip with Tiffany Haddish and Lil Rel. That movie was funny as a motherfucker. Go watch it on Netflix. Great movie. And he, the part that had me rolling, I gotta explain this real quick. The part that had me rolling in the movie, spoiler alert, but the light-skinned brother from Two Broke Girls, he's funny too. Him and Lil Rel, they take a trip or whatever. They go into this bar. It's in Georgia. Just happens to be Georgia. And they go in there. It's a fucking country bar, but nothing but white people. Lil Rel like, man, we the only black people in here. The light-skinned brother was like, bro, I don't even see color. Like, but it was a play on the joke. Because, you know, that's what the dominant society do when they're surrounded by nothing but white people and it's like one black person. They'll tell that black person, I don't even see color. Stop. I was rolling when I saw that shit, man. But anyway, that's a good movie, man. Y'all niggas need to go check it out. But I'm going to see if I can find some audio, because I don't want to read it. I want to find the audio, man. And the reason why I want to find the audio, man, because this shit, it's not funny, but it's funny to me about, it's this sister, she's watching them sign a bill. It's all these white people signing this bill, and in the background, it's a painting. The painting is of the plantation that her family grew up on and was sharecroppers and picking cotton. That's the constant reminder that, bitch, we in power. Let me tell you something. I'm reading this book called The Pound of Flesh. Oh, my God. This book, oh, my God. I can't remember the name, but I remember the slave's name was Alfred. It was a white dude. And I'm like not even, I'm probably like halfway through it. Well, it was a black slave. His name was Alfred. Now, this slave, he had passed before his slave master passed. So they buried him. Well, the slave owner, slave master, the white supremacist, he wrote in his will that I got to find his name. I think his name was John Adams, if I'm not mistaken. John Adams or John, I forgot his name. I got to go in the book. I'm blanking on his name, but I remember the black slave's name was Alfred. The slave master wrote in his will, I want y'all to listen to me and listen to me good, man. Tasha, listen to this shit. 066, this is going to fuck you up. The slave master wrote in his will that when I die, when y'all bury me, I want y'all to exhume my slave's body and put him at the foot, bury him at the foot of where my feet lay. Because this slave always kept my feet warm when I was sick. So I want you to exhume his body, dig him up from the grave, and bury him with me, but bury him at my feet because he kept my feet warm when I was alive. Because a lot of slave masters believe that in the afterlife, they still owned you. This is what they believe. But you want to fucking tell me that we don't deserve reparations for that type of treatment? The nigga can't even die in peace. He's already dead. The slave was already dead. But the slave master continued to live on. And then when he finally passed away, even fucked up even in death. Yeah, the slave master was like, in his will, basically dig that nigga up and bury him at my feet because he used to keep my feet warm when I was alive. And it also talks about how a lot of the slaves on the plantations, it broke down kind of the religions. The shit y'all done already heard me talk about a million times. Go get this book. It's called The Pound of Flesh. She doesn't use the term black and she doesn't say nigger and all that. I think it's just so it can be sold to white people. She used enslaved or enslavers. She doesn't really say white. She doesn't really say black in this book, but it's still good information. Now, in this book, it breaks down a lot of shit. It talks about the cane brake plantation and them and all they fuckery that they had going on and how, a lot of women, young girls, they hated it when they were hitting puberty because they knew they was about to have to go fuck somebody and reproduce. Oh, it's just a god-awful book. It's just god-awful. It's a good book, but it's like, God damn, you want to tell us we don't deserve reparations? And you want to sit up here and talk about you don't see color? Stop. You can't be in charge of people for 450 years and treat them like dogs and then all of a sudden be like, I don't see color anymore. Stop. Y'all niggas need to wake the fuck up. And that's why they got that picture on that board and that when the governor of Georgia and everybody, they signed this bill, but nobody's looking at the pictures. Let me tell you something. When I go in anybody's house, I always look at the pictures they have up. That's why behind me, no, I'm not a part of the Nation of Islam, but I respect the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I think he was the dopest businessman of the civil rights era. And he didn't put up with no shit. And he didn't take no shit. And you wasn't finna run up on him either. You're like, why you always talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Why you always talk about the Honorable Elijah? I'm fascinated at how his business acumen was on point. The nigga had hella businesses. He had hella knowledge of self. He was reforming niggas. Niggas was coming, getting out the pen and on their right mind. You gotta give that nigga some props. Because when you go on the dominant white side, they got pictures of John F. Kennedy, who was a racist, George Washington, a racist, Abraham Lincoln, another racist. They ain't got nothing but white supremacists on their wall. But a nigga look at me crazy because black folks will look at me crazy when they see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on my wall. Then I got another picture on the other side of this wall, and it's Master Farrar Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I have those pictures of them because, to me, I feel like without the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you don't get Malcolm X. You don't get the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You don't get them. And it's like, why you gotta be Nation of Islam to respect them? You just can't respect what they believe. You can't respect it. We respect every other racial group. We respect the Mormons. We respect every other racial group. We respect the Christians. But then when it comes to praising our people, it's like, we ashamed of that shit. So that's why. And then in the book, it also talks about how back in those days when you were on the plantation, you were either a Christian, all Masons, including the Honorable Minister. Yes. But let me tell you something. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, go look up his speeches. He breaks down Shriners. I like the way the way he speaks is dope. It's captivating. I've been listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for 11 years, man. Just on YouTube. I have Sprint, unlimited data, so I'll just be at work pissed off, and I would just go listen to his speeches in 88, 89, add it up. That one speech added up. I think he was at Madison Square Garden, or I think in Florida. He had on all white. You know what I'm saying? I listened to, that's just me. That's just me, because the way I grew up, I'm not mad at the way I grew up. I'm just saying most black churches, they're not teaching you the other side. They're teaching you about faith. They're teaching you about patience, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we also got to have the other side of the coin, too, where we're talking about knowledge of self, who you come from, descendants of the Moors. You built this country. You know what I mean? Oh, what's going on, Shawnee? Oh, man, Shawnee, what's going on? Shout out to Philly. Shout out to blackandnoble.com, man. Bitch, special shout out to them. Shout out to them, man, for real, for real. I fuck with them heavy. I get my black soap, sea moss, all that shit from them. So shout out to them. Shawnee is the one who put me onto that. And y'all see me, look, I'm reading in the chat. So that's what y'all see. In this book, it talks about all the religions. And it talks about what religious belief you would have when you were on the corporate plant, when you were on the plantation, the actual slave plantation. No, you good, Shawnee, don't trip. It talked about how either you were Muslim or Christian, and people don't know. Muslim was another term to identify black people, and the Christians were another term to identify white people. But a lot of black people don't read, so they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? But it says either you were a Christian, or you were a Muslim, or you were voodoo, that you practice voodoo, you practice Santeria or Candomblé. The shit that y'all hear me talking about all the time. It says it in this book. That's what they were practicing. And what people don't understand, I was having a conversation with my homeboy, Nick. I did a podcast with him a week or two ago. And he said some very interesting things. We've had these conversations off camera. He's like, bro, what needs to happen is motherfuckers just need to just take the shit back, because they're not going to give it back willingly. And that's what I believe. I believe they just going to rock us to sleep. They're never giving this back willingly. You know what I'm saying? And we have to dig deep. We have to be like dirty bookmen. That's just my interpretation of it. You like, what do you mean, dirty bookman? I want everybody, that is my goal, to get a picture of Dirty Bookman in his prayer, and I'm going to make cards of that shit, pass that shit out to all my melanated brothers and sisters. Because in his prayer, he talks about how basically we don't serve the same God. Because he's like, their God asked them to commit crimes. So how could we be serving the same God? And he talks about how we need to replace the imagery of the white man's God, because that's not our God. And that's why they tell you that voodoo, Santeria, Candomblé, that's bad, and go serve this Cesare Borgia shit. We was joking, me and my nigga Nick was joking about that shit the other day about Cesare Borgia. And then when you tell black people, they be looking at you like you crazy. And I'm like, bro, so that's Jesus Christ on your wall, right? Yeah, man, that's Jesus, bro. And I'm like, all right, so are we going by the Bible or are we going by looks? He's like, no, we going by the Bible, man. We going by the Bible. Okay, well, it says he has feet like burnt brass, hair like lamb's wool. He's like, well, yeah, I said, bro, that's Pau Gasol with a perm press just for me kid, bro. That's not Jesus, man. See, here you go with that Nation Islam talking. I'm like, all right, man. Okay, man. Whatever you say, bro. I'm not finna sit up here and argue with you. But those are just the things that, I have conversations with about, and it's quite funny to me. And the reason why I say it's quite funny is because, to me, how it relates to the core plantation is, I feel like every melanated person, if it's a brother that you can trust and you cool with, have conversations with them. I try to have conversations with people that I'm cool with. I don't tell them what to do. I say, hey, man, you should read this book. Like I told one of the homies at the Core Plantation, I was like, man, you should read the ISIS Papers by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And she was like, oh, well, is it audio? I was like, yeah, man, go check it out. Because I just want people to get the information. I don't care how you get it. Just get it. You ain't got to read the books like everybody else. This is a new era. So however you get it. After my homegirl read that book, the ISIS Papers, me and her had like a 30-minute conversation. She was like, that book is deep. I said, I told you, man. I said, that book, Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, and I would say Fall of America or How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Those books changed my whole perspective on life, period. Especially in the beginning of the fall of America. That's the most scariest part. Because in the beginning, he's like, oh, you think these congressmen and mayors, and all, oh, you think they for you, huh? They don't fuck with you. He's not saying that. Of course, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad don't speak that way. But he basically like, nigga, ain't nobody about to save you. So I don't even know why you sitting up here acting like, oh, if we just do what they say, they're going to save us. Yes, no, they're never going to save you, bro. They don't give a fuck about you at all. But I feel like I feel like sometimes we think that's what's going to happen. Let me see. Let's just Kimberly Wallace. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. I'm about to look this up right now. Let's see. Kimberly. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if they got some on the news on her. Let's see if I can find because I'm looking for it. I want to see if they got audio. Plantation painting. Let's see. I can't find it. Let's see. Plantation painting. Let's see. I don't think I can find it. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signs. Brian Kemp. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. After signing jail bill into law. Yeah, they don't really have nothing. Okay, Brian Kemp responds to Biden's criticism. Yeah, I can't find it. Sign under. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Our U.S. morning.
I'm about to say I'm just not gonna play no commercials. But yeah, man. Photo here. Let's see.
Down the key stories of the day, telling you what's happening and why it matters as a photo of the Georgia governor, Brian Kemp, circulated around the internet, showing the politician signing the sweeping voting restrictions bill while surrounded by other white, male politicians. Some Twitter users homed in on a previously undetected detail. The Philadelphia Inquirer columnist Will Bunch created a Twitter thread about a painting of a Georgia plantation that is hanging behind Kemp in the photograph.
Right.
Writing about the history of the Callaway plantation in Wilkes County, Georgia, Bunch said the place depicted thrived because of the backbreaking labor of more than 100 slaves who were held.
Now that's just one. That's just one out of so many plantations. The reason why I'm playing this is because I want y'all to hear from a different perspective. You like, why? This is the reason why I want y'all to hear it, because y'all need to understand this. You don't have plantations. You don't have railroads. You don't have none of that. We built the railroads. Y'all heard me and Nick talk about that shit. We built that shit. They finished it. They brought them in at the end when it was already done. First of all, the Chinamen, every other racial group could not survive the climate in the United States of America, especially in the South. The sun, they couldn't survive none of that. We are a special people, as Dr. Claude Anderson says. Nobody could survive that because of the melanin in our skin, in the DNA. Go read Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. See, I'm never going to just be bumping my guns. I'm going to tell you the books that I actually read. Read that book. It talks about how motherfucking Shawnee, you know, John Sims, or was it James Sims, the motherfucking first fistula, the obstetricianist, the motherfucker that was operating on black women, not using fucking anesthesia because he felt like black women they couldn't feel nothing anyway. That type of shit. And it talks about this in this book. Please go get it. It's called The Pound of Flesh. And it talks about how basically black bodies were worth more a lot of times dead, which goes to Harriet Washington's medical apartheid, because they was doing all kinds of experiments and shit on black folks' bodies. That's why they couldn't wait for a nigga to die, so they can exhume the body and get the stem cells and get whatever they can, the liver, the heart, all the organs. We're made different. We're special people. That's why we were able to build this country the way we were. We're the only group that fought in every war, built the fucking country, and still get treated like fucking 10th class citizens. And then they want niggas to just be like, but we don't need no reparations because I'm not a victim. No, nigga, if you are black in the United States of America Incorporated, you are a victim of the system of racism and white supremacy. And if you're around anyone and they're not trying to establish a system of justice, then I don't know what the fuck they doing. That's maybe a personal conversation you need to ask, especially when black folk got to get up and go to a corporate plantation every day and get treated fucked up. As they act, and then what do the dominant society do? They try to act like they not treating you that way. Oh, did I do that? They, I feel like the dominant society. You know who's a good representation of anti-black racism for the dominant society? Sharon Osbourne. Look at how she acted. What do you mean? Like, however, what do you mean? No. What did I do? And then once they start saying, then everybody start getting silent. Hey, this is fucked up. If anyone's going to be crying, it's going to be me. And then now, looking back at it, and people probably told her, hey, man, you doing too much. And then that's why she probably like, okay, I'll quit. I quit. But these are just the things. You're going to sign a bill. Let me cut the music on. I just want to play a little bit of that. You're going to sign a bill knowing it's a plantation picture in the back. That's why every melanated person, I would suggest you get Dirty Bookman. Get Dirty Bookman. Get Mac and Dog. Get Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Get Nat Turner. Get Denmark Vesey. Come on, man. Get Gabriel Prosser. Come on, man. Stop putting up pictures. You can get Harriet Tubman. Stop just putting up pictures of Frederick Douglass, the nice Negroes. Go get the motherfuckers that were rioters. Go get the motherfuckers that was like, nah, I'm not playing none of that bullshit. That's why they don't like to talk about John Brown. Because John Brown was new. Like, hey, man, what y'all doing is wrong. This is some bullshit. That's why they try to put that fucking series of him out. Because God said, we got to make him seem like he's crazy. Because if you read Slavery by Another Name, these white supremacists felt so bad at how they was treating niggas. They left their property in their will to niggas. And then guess what other white supremacists did? They came and fought and was like, no, we're deeming him insane because ain't no white man gonna leave his property to no niggas. This is what they was doing. But you want to tell me we don't deserve reparations? Man, get the fuck out of here. And niggas gotta go to work and put up with chicken shit all the time. And then what they want you to do is they want you to act like the shit's not going on. That's what they want. If you act like it's not going on, that makes them feel better. Check this out, black folk. You need to make white people comfortable. Ain't that a bitch? But they've been the most violent, vicious, backbiting, vile, deceitful, treacherous people in the United States of America Incorporated. For the last 450 years. Y'all have been the ones that have been in charge. Y'all dominate 9 areas of activity. Now, I'm not reading shit. I'm talking about what I've ascertained. The 9 areas. Let's see. Y'all dominate labor. Y'all dominate law, politics, economics, religion, sex, education, entertainment, and war. If that's all of them. But I know y'all dominate them. Y'all dominate them motherfuckers like a motherfucker. Stop. Y'all run all the motherfuckers. Education, go to school. And when you learn geometry, ask the teacher where they got it from. Ask them. Say, find me a building that a white person built is of the reason why we're doing geometry. Not no white person. Find me the person. They're gonna tell you about Pythagoras, the Pythagorean theorem. And then what you should say as a melanated person, well, where did he get it from? Because he had to get it from someone. And if they say, oh, he got it from God, say, oh, well, no, I got this book called Stolen Legacy. It says that he studied in ancient Kemet. I got a book called Numbers in You by Lloyd Strayhorn. Says that he studied in ancient Kemet for 22 years. I got another book about numerology. It says that Pythagoras studied in ancient Kemet for 22 years. For all y'all that don't know what Kemet is, that is Egypt. Kemet, chemistry, that bullshit. That's where he got it from. Black, the land of the black. You know how they try to Eurasianize it and make it European now. That's what and then when you argue with somebody about the pyramids, they'll be like, oh, the aliens built it. That's what motherfucker told me on Twitter one time. Oh, the aliens built it. I'm like, okay, man. I'm just saying, man, look at the education system. They're never going to teach you about what we've really done. You got to learn about that on your own. We wouldn't even have stoplights if it wasn't for a black man or a car. But they give Henry Ford all the credit. Henry Ford is responsible for the mass production of the automobile, not the first automobile. But we sitting up there going with the okie doke. That's because they told us. Jesus loves me, this I know, 'cause a white man told me so. That bullshit. This nigga just believe anything a motherfucking, you know? Nigga be like, hey, man, you need to study, you need to study, you need to study. Motherfucker look at you like you crazy. But, nigga, don't turn on Tim Wise. Niggas get the bucket eyes. Tim Wise be going hard. And Jane Elliott be going hard. Jane Elliott, she the shit. And Tim Wise, yeah, Tim Wise. Anybody that knows me, I've always been looking at Tim Wise like, okay. With the twang and my mom and my daddy and all this other shit, and Jane Elliott too. And then when that nigga asked her about reparations, that bitch got to talking about the Native Americans. Well, we got to do with the Native Americans first. Stop letting them give you that false narrative that the Native Americans were here before black folk. We are the original people of the world. Trust and believe you me, and we are the original people of the United States of America Incorporated, and they know that. That's why they try to separate the Indians or the so-called Native Americans. And then they gave them their reparations and their little shit, and then they want to cry wolf when Donald Trump and all of them was like, well, we about to build an oil pipeline in South and North Dakota and fuck y'all niggas. Then they want to be like, oh, we in it together. Come on, black folk. Nah, fuck out of here. That's your responsibility, not mine. Because as niggas getting killed in the street like motherfucking Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, I'll keep bringing this up. Man, motherfucker gonna come running up to me showing me what happened to Philando Castile. Like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, that's messed up. I said, that happens every day. It's just on film now. Why does that surprise you? Doesn't surprise me. And after that, everybody left me the fuck alone. I said, you know what it surprises? It surprises me how entertained you are by watching somebody get killed by a police officer live. You're not thinking about the little girl that was in the back seat. You're not thinking about how he shouldn't be a law enforcement agent. He shouldn't even be working in law enforcement. But you know why? Because law enforcement has been infiltrated by the KKK, white supremacists. But a motherfucker want to talk shit about the Nation of Islam. Man, get the fuck away from me with that whole ass shit, man. I can't stand niggas with that shit, man. As soon as the niggas start talking shit about the Nation of Islam, I'll be like, all right, man. I can't fuck with you. Wait, man, would you a nation? You ain't got to be a part of the nation. It's like, black folk don't know how to be on code, man. This system is a institution. It's a system that's been working for 450 years. They're never going to change it for you. I don't care how many white friends you got and how much they talk about how they like to do the Dougie and the stanky leg and how they voted for Obama twice. They are never changing the system, and they're never going to take away their white privilege. You see, I often look at the dominant society when they get to showing you pictures of how they used to yo and, you know, wear Jordans and all this other stuff and yo this and all this other stuff. But then I watch how they act now. I don't care about what you used to be. You know, I'm watching this show too. It's called Shameless. I know y'all probably seen it some, and it's on Showtime. And on this show, they have a white kid on there. First of all, the dad and the mom, they crackheads. That's what I like about it. They're really, they just dope fiends and crackheads. And there's a whole bunch of kids or whatever. Typical white trash family. Like, of how they depicted on Hollywood. You know, just dope fiends and all this other shit. It's a little over the top, but it's funny. Well, one of the kids, since they in the south side of Chicago, you know, he had his hair braided. And the writers wrote it where, you know, he loved black women. And, you know, he sold weed. He was into black culture. But guess what he is now as he has evolved and gotten older? Now he's a police officer. See, what they do is they come to our side of the train tracks when they want to get a thrill, when they want to put on a Gucci belt. You know, our culture to them is an aesthetic, something they could put on to show, look, I got culture. And then when they're done, they take that belt off or take whatever they have and they put it in the closet and they don't deal with it no more. When is everybody else going to wake up? See, I checks it at the door. And you can tell the difference between a culture vulture and a person that's really trying to establish a system of justice. Why, Warren? Let me tell you why. Because they're reading, researching, calling it out, telling you what's being said when you're not in the fucking room. That's what they're doing. And remember that shit, man. Remember that. That's what it's about. If they're not telling you what's being said when you're not in the room, then what the fuck are they around you for? Unless you making relationships that put you on or put your peoples on. But remember, when you at the court plantation, keep your composure. Become introverted. Don't let them see you even in a moment of emotional bullshit because they got you. Because a lot of these dominant society people are miserable people at these court plantations. Their lives are a shitstorm on skates. You feel me? That's what their lives are. And then they come to that work because that's the matrix for them. They get a chance to really be who they could never be outside of that job. Most of those people that are in charge inside of the corporate plantation, they are the most weak people on the outside with no confidence and lacking self-esteem. Trust me, I've seen a lot of these people outside of the corporate plantation. You should see them. I'll be laughing. But that's the one thing they know. Don't come up to me smiling because I will not smile with you. I've done it before. For all y'all that don't know about Las Vegas, Nevada, you know, we got a hotel casino called the Santa Fe. And, you know, when I used to drink a lot and I used to kick it, I used to go up there a lot and hang out on the weekends. And there were a lot of times, a lot of these dominant society people that was assholes at work would try to come up to me and talk. And I would be like, man, get the fuck away from me, man. I don't fuck with you. I watched the show, Shameless. He has a little black brother. Yes, Liam is a little black brother. Yep. You watch that show? Shawnee, you see how now he's a police officer now? See, they wrote that black. So basically, they're showing you, they're telling you, it's a fad with most dominant society people. They're only going to be around for a minute, and then they're going to go back what they own. The people that's really in it to win it, they're establishing the system of justice any way they can. They reading, they researching, they fucking calling out the racist bullshit. They're telling you what's being said when you're not in the room. They are always keeping a motherfucker at bay and telling, hey, man, don't fuck with this motherfucker. This is a motherfucking racist motherfucker, too. They bullshit. Like I told y'all before, where are the Keith Forsyths in this book called The Burglary? Where are those people at? The people that will break in the FBI building and publish the COINTELPRO paperwork. People don't know that. It was white people that did that. And the reason why I bring that up all the time is because those type of people don't exist. That's why I bring it up. I don't bring it up because I'm trying to show you a book of Eli. I'm bringing it up because I'm trying to show you those type of people don't exist. People think tweeting something is standing up for or standing up against the system of racism, white supremacy. That ain't doing shit. Anybody can tweet. Let's see. Oh, I'm trying to click on that link, Shawnee, but it's not letting me. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Man, I'm about to charge my motherfucking laptop about that. Let's see. I'm trying to click on the link, but let me see. Yes, it's not letting me click on that link. Because I tried to click on it a couple of times and it keeps saying, oops, something went wrong. I don't know. Maybe something with my internet feed. You know, look, this is the first time the shit ain't really fucked up. It was fucked up when me and Nick did the podcast. But I'll tell you, look, man, I want y'all, when y'all at these corporate plantations, take notes. And trust me, I be taking notes in my head and thinking of things that I'm going to write. Like I told my niggas, I'm like, man, when I write a book, I told 0666, I told that nigga, watch, when I write, I'm going to probably get sued. Because I'm going to probably name names in that motherfucker and be like, yeah, this motherfucker was a whole ass motherfucker too. And was just doing crazy, shiesty stuff. Very racist. Oh, it's going to be a good book. But look, man, let me tell you something. Understand this. They're going to always display racism everywhere and show you who's holding power. That's why when you look at it, it's the pictures of the Callaway plantation. And when you look at it, it's a sister on here. And the sister basically was like, hey, that was a plantation that my people grew up on. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Why would y'all have that pain? But my thing is, does that surprise you? Like I said, go into the average dominant society person's house. They got John F. Kennedy, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. Those were all white supremacists. All of them. Well, all of them are. Yeah, all of them are. If you are in denial of the system of racism and white supremacy, you are a white supremacist too. Because you know what the fuck is going on. And you're not trying to establish a system of justice. Like I said, man, go do the reading and research for yourself. Understand what life is about. Stay in your lane, because that's the only lane that God gave you. Stop trying to be in everybody else's lane and figure out what the fuck they doing. Figure out what the fuck you need to be doing, man. You know what I'm saying? And only have niggas that's handling business around you. If niggas not handling business and don't got their own lane, get the fuck away from them, because those are that's detrimental to your life goals, your dreams, and your ambitions. Get you a vision board, write it down, and I would say magnetize it, claim it, because that's the only way it's going to happen. And always keep in mind that if you're not doing anything constructive, then what are you doing? And as Nilly Fuller Jr. says, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Go get the United Independent Compensatory Counter-Racist Code by Neely Fuller Jr. Go get that book. It's a very, very good book. It talks about racial showcasing and racial showcasing confusion and all the bullshit. They give one nigga the nigga trinket and want you to replicate his behavior. That's why they always bringing up Obama's clown ass. A nigga that ain't, they talked about that in Shameless. This lady was like, man, fuck Obama. Obama's not from the United States of America. He's from Kenya. Get the fuck out of here. He's not no foundational black American. He didn't help build this country. That's why the nigga didn't give a fuck about mentioning no niggas. Cause they used him as symbolism. Cause they know that's what we go for. That's it. But hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening. You already know what it is. Oh, is that it right there? Try it now. It was a skit, supposedly a joke. All right, hold on. Let me try this before I get out of here. Damn, no, it's not. Damn, it's not. It keeps saying, oops, something went wrong. It's not even letting me click on the link. Damn. Well, it's all good. Hey, just send it to my email. I'll check it out. But hey, man, keep reading, researching, understand what it is. Take a look to your left, to your right. Understand we got to be on code. And even be on code with motherfuckers you don't fuck with. There's a lot of people I don't fuck with, but I'm on code with them because I understand that's what we have to establish. Even the Sambos and Mammies. There's a lot of mammyism at a Court Plantation, too. Motherfucker be smiling and grinning all up in these white supremacist face. I be looking at these motherfuckers like, what the fuck? But I guess if that's what you want to do, I post it on your page. Okay. Hey, man. Remember this. Be on code. Establish one. If you don't have one and you're not working on nothing constructive, then what are you doing? Hey, man, I'll holler at y'all niggas on Tuesday. Hey, man, if you are handling business, I'll fuck with you. But if you are around anybody that's talking about, I don't even see color, guilty nigga, I'm out. Peace.